buddy.
Back again, buddy. How are you, my man?
Episode
God, what are
14?
14.
14, yeah.
God damn it.
Man, for you guys coming to join us for the first time, welcome. I'm Sean.
I'm Mike, and
This is Eric.
What's up, Eric?
Wait, what was that?
what the fuck was that?
What was that sound?
Oh my God, a new opponent has entered the ring.
Our first guest, ladies and gentlemen. Holy cow. Big day happening.
This is where we need the so we have our first guest ever on the We're Still Cool Right podcast. He's a lot like us. He loves to drink. He has kids. He's, well, I don't know how old he is, but I guess we're going to find out. This is Clint. Woohoo!
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for being here, dude.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
And can we just say the best part here? Clint brought us some sweet beer.
Yeah. So I will just get this out of the way because I already poured half of mine, but I'm
just making a mess.
drinking. That's what napkins are for. We're fine. I'm drinking a half lemon made shandy and half berry good from Single Speed.
Yes.
I've been told it's delicious.
We call that the Very Good Shandy.
The very good shandy.
That would make sense that that's the best name you could pick. We also have another drink, our drink of the podcast that we'll get to in a minute that Clint made specially for us. But first, real quick about Clint. He is the sales manager for Parallel Brewery Collective, which is lots of things. That would be Mississippi River Distilling, Single Speed, Back Pocket, Peachtree, Five Cities. Did I get them all?
Got them all?
God, look at me go.
Nailed it.
So thanks for being on the podcast, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Looking
Dude, this
forward
is
to it.
delicious.
It is
That's
good.
a perfect combo. The berry shanty is, or berry, what'd you say it was called?
Very good
Very
shandy.
good shandy.
Very good shanty.
Yeah, they're
I'm all
both great
for it.
on their own, but the shandy kind of tarts up the berry. The berry cuts the sweetness of the shandy a little bit. It's really nice.
I like it.
Because I am one of those people that I can't, like some people can just sit there and drink 6 shandies in the summer, like on a, and I'm like, dude, I get gut rot. Like it's just,
Yeah,
it's too much.
Dude, shout out to my sister real quick.
Yeah.
Kelly. Man, she can put those things away.
We'll talk
I don't know
about
how
her.
she I don't know how she does it.
We'll talk about her again. I have an email from her.
There you go, Kelly. All right. Big
So,
things coming for you.
No, this is really, really good. I am dying to get to the drink, but I'm going to say something before this started. Fuck you too, buddy.
Hey, it's a trophy. Come
Middle
on.
finger
There you go.
made
Major
its
award.
Major exactly.
Yeah. We had a little gift given to us before this started, and it was a little bottle. I'm going to post a picture of it because it's the cutest fucking thing you've ever seen. It's called Underberg.
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 Oh, you kept
I just kept the bottle because I wasn't going to remember the name.
So
But yeah, I do remember the name. You know,
all we were told is to drink it, and then right before we started drinking it, I was told you have to act like it's a dick to drink it. So you
That's
basically
not what
have
I
to
said.
jack
I
off
said
the
you
bottle.
kind of have to jerk it off a little bit in your mouth.
But he was lying. I had to quite a bit jerk it off to get it out. It wasn't kind of. So
yes.
part of us wished we had recorded us drinking it. The other part I didn't, because for sure some eggplants were going to get put in our hands for
Yeah.
that. So
It was interesting.
it's not bad.
I'm excited though to take your advice here and try this after like Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. Or then I just want to go to a big buffet.
Okay.
That, you know,
Yeah.
like
Settle
you know,
your stomach.
Like
Two
when
of
you go
these
to
efforts.
Vegas, you're like, this is how I make my money back. I'm going to eat $500 worth of food. I'm gonna bring a pocket of those.
I have my Underberg bandolier. You guys,
Do you actually have one?
No,
Oh God.
I'm saving up for it.
Do you know how many it takes?
I don't.
Okay, so that's it. Clint told us that you keep the caps from these, and it's like when we were kids and they had Marlboro Miles, and you save them up to get like swag. And he said there's a bandolier, so you can just have a fucking bandolier full of them.
I hate to tell you, Mike, if Clint doesn't have one yet.
Oh, I'm fucked. Yeah, dude, who needs 401ks? I'm just gonna pull that shit
Right.
and make it happen.
It's like you're the guy trying to get the Pepsi Jet or something.
yeah. Like, dude,
I had enough cap.
you're a day late and $1 short by a lot. Yeah,
Well, it's important to have goals.
yeah.
And it does bring me to my question. Like, is that still cool?
What?
I mean, Marble points, that used to be like cool as shit.
Collecting
I
caps
wonder if
and
it's
shit,
still
yeah.
a thing.
Like, do you collect that in anything else?
I don't know.
Pepsi, any of that's, is it like that anymore?
No, I don't know anything else. I don't save anything other than these. Remember when you used to get a free pop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Pepsi
free
or something?
20 ounce. Yeah,
That's been like 15 years ago.
Could you ever look in there and see it?
I
Like,
tried.
I knew people that could do it, like whatever reflection they would do it, and they would get it every time. And I'm like, I have no idea.
See, that's the thing now, though, with technology, like the way people are,
Right.
you can't do things like that because there's always someone out there. It's like breaks the system.
But it was awesome. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually remember being like, come on, open it. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get another, like,
And then when you did get
Yeah.
one, you were genuinely excited.
It's
And
rolling
my
around
diet.
6 caps in your cup holder in your car.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm stocked for the summer. It's fine. I saw a picture the other day. A guy found one somewhere in his house, whatever, or like found an old bottle and opened it, and it was a free Super Nintendo. Like he hit like the jackpot, but obviously it's too late now. So poor bastard.
What are you doing keeping stuff that long? Come on, open that pop. What are we doing here?
I don't know.
Maybe it has his name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
Like all these Cokes that are out there now.
Right.
Yeah. Because there was Camel Cash, it was Marlboro Miles. And I just remember like, you know, I grew up with interesting family, parents, and they had that stuff. And now you'll still go to garage sales and like, you'll see some of that stuff and they have it priced for quite a bit. I think it's like sought after now.
Well, my parents they smoked the Winstons, the Winnies.
Was there Winston points?
I don't know.
I don't think there
I think it
was.
was
They
all
had,
like
they had prizes and stuff.
get to
I don't
like
know if
NASCAR
They were
races.
the NASCAR ones.
Yeah, because it was all
Oh,
Winston
that's
Cup
right.
back then. So I don't know that. No.
My aunt and uncle had all the Camel stuff.
Yeah.
They were over the road truck drivers.
Oh shit.
I think all they did
Joe
was
the
smoke
Camel,
cigarettes and
everything.
drive.
Yeah.
Okay, but Joe Camel was cool. Like,
You know, when I was a kid, I had Joe Camel like shirts.
Yeah.
You'd go visit and
Yeah.
you'd get shirts.
and you'd wear them to school and the teachers would be like, oh, you're one of those.
yeah.
Anybody
Next to
remember?
my
Goddamn
buddy
right.
with the Beer Whiz t-shirt.
Yeah.
Anybody remember the Miller Lite one where they had the T-shirt like it was a case and then one of the cans was a shirt inside?
No.
Okay, so my dad
They've always
and uncle,
been
they've
Miller
always
Lite
been Miller Lite
drinkers.
drinkers, so they would have it. And as a kid, that was like awesome. And my dad be like, "That's one less fucking beer. Like I don't need another goddamn shirt." But I wore it
fucking
all the
feel
time.
that.
We wore it.
I don't want
Yeah.
a fucking
Yeah,
t-shirt. It's not
exactly.
going to
Like
fit
at first,
me anyways.
they thought it was funny
What
at
am I,
first.
8?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're like, "It's enough with the shirt. Like we don't need another shirt. I'm not going to wear it." Like
What
I
did
just want my beer.
so every case had one in it?
No.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of them did.
Yeah,
if you were lucky.
Yeah.
If you buy in the
If you
volume
buy
that they're-
500
if
cases.
you're buying in the volume that they were, you ended up with a lot of shirts. So
That's awesome.
But yeah. So on top of the delicious beer,
Yeah, let's,
we do a drink all the
Yeah,
time.
let's talk about the drink.
And Clint,
The floor is yours.
it's the floor is yours. What do we got here today, my man?
So this is one of my favorite beverages.
Okay.
And I know you guys are also not fans at all. So this is Fernet and Coke.
Fuck me. Dude,
Hey, maybe you'll like it this way.
we were in the lobby and he was talking and I was getting a little scared. Like, what could this be? And I looked up and the bottle of Fernet hadn't been moved, or at least it looked like it hadn't. Did you bring your own?
No.
Oh, well, fuck.
Well,
Oh,
at least-
you just did it after the fact. God damn it.
At least we're getting our way through that shit.
And this is genuinely a drink you enjoy.
Yes.
Okay,
I genuinely enjoy Fernet. I feel like beer people, like I'm surprised you don't like Fernet or Malort or any of that, because it's beer people generally like things that are bitter and intense and herbal. And so Amari, is that the plural?
Yeah.
Fall into that category.
Yeah.
usually. So
I don't like the lingering herbal,
sure.
if that makes sense.
That's why I brought Coke. I was going to do
Yeah.
a Ferrari to start with, which is half Fernet, half Campari.
Oh,
Oh my God. That would be
Amazing.
extreme.
I was.
It's so good. It sounds, I mean, you have to also kind of like Campari. I suppose.
Yeah. Campari has
delicious.
some of that too.
Have you
as
ever
well.
had one?
Yeah. I haven't had that. I've
Oh.
had Campari.
But not mixed. Okay.
See, I should have brought a bottle just to do that too.
Well, I guess
been
we have something to look
I
forward
did
to
like
for next time.
you told me about the spaghetti. I did like that.
What is
That
that?
delicious.
It's a Miller High Life with a little bit of, is it
Aperol
Aperol?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and a lime.
Yeah.
You drink it
See,
down to the
that's-
shoulder,
Yeah.
fill it with Aperol, shove a lime in it.
See, that sounds good. Let's do that next.
Yeah.
And I'll
Well-
call it mine, even though it's not.
Here's to
Cheers,
it.
brother. Thank you for being
Cheers.
here.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
ya.
Cheers.
And let's see how this is.
Because this, yeah.
Now, see, that's way more enjoyable than drinking it by
Yeah,
itself.
it mellows it out
A lot.
Yeah.
But like, so like the flavor is really not that bad. It's just very overpowering, at least to me. Maybe I just have a baby palate. I don't know.
It's still herbal. Like,
Yeah,
I still
but-
get the Fernet there for sure. But
The sweetness of the Coke really works well with the menthol characteristics of the
Yeah.
Fernet.
And for the record, he didn't bring that poverty Coke. This was that good Coke in glass bottles.
yeah, the good Mexican Coke.
It's
Low
got
sugar, baby.
It's got to be. Yeah.
I mean, I got to believe this is the absolute best way you could have Fernet.
Well, you have tried 2 ways so far.
It's just not my thing. And that's, but I like Malort, or, I can handle Malort, like to your what you said before, because I'm a beer
Eventually,
drinker, like whatever.
Fernet
I
will
actually
get
kind of like it. I don't know if I'm gonna get here.
But here's the thing. Do you remember the first time you had it and then it wasn't 20 minutes later, you're like, I'm doing another one? Because you're like, I feel like
Because I'm
right there.
I'm wanting to get over this hill. Like I want
I
to
shouldn't
be.
have done that
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah.
I was screaming in my car. I was like, you fucking pussy.
He wants to be the guy that
I do want
likes
to.
Fernet.
Like even when I did the second one, the look of my, I was trying not, and we still got. I'm sure we got some footage of my face the way we did it. It was.
I have a buddy who works in the business with me. It's one of my oldest friends, Scott Kirby. Shout out Scott Kirby.
Yes, God.
He texted me one day out of the blue. I think he was in Minnesota, and he's like, I just bought Fernets for whoever he was with. And he was not a Fernet guy, but he would always drink them with me because he's a good friend. And it just clicked. And then he's a Fernet guy.
Really?
See, and so we were at Cliff's recently and we were talking about the bottle because we were the friend who heard the podcast and she's like, I need to try this. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I recorded it. She loved it. She was like, this isn't bad at all. I'm like, man, what is wrong with me? I just can't get into that stuff. But I think it's just when those tastes just linger and linger and linger. And now granted, do you typically just sip on it?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's always a shot.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
if they pour me a giant one, then
Yeah.
it's two. But
okay. Because I'm like, I shot just a pretty big shot of it, and I'm like, it did not leave my mouth for quite a while. But yeah, she was like, this isn't bad at all. Oh, no, it's not the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I just really like that stuff. And fortunately, a lot of the bars that I go to carry it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's my.
F&F guys, like one day, Kendall was like, that's the third time you've ordered something that we don't have. Why the fuck don't we have it? The next whatever day, then all the F&F bars had Fernet.
But that's how you know a place is
Jamie
good.
already had it in her spots because Jamie knows her shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though, is, good places listen and, they follow up and get the stuff that people want. Because
I've been told they just listen to this podcast, and then that's what's really good. That's what's really driving.
Keeping
all
their,
this stuff.
their
might be right,
pulse on the,
Yeah.
what's going on in Cedar Rapids.
Clint, please keep feeding us information. We're the voice of the new generation.
Clint, so I would think I've mentioned it a couple of times on here. Is it true that like a lot of people in the industry like Fernet? Like I feel like
Yes.
every time that I have it, it's with like bar industry people.
So
Yeah,
that's what
it's-
happened when we were at Cliff's recently. I was talking to the bartender and she's like, yeah, it's just a thing. And I was like, yeah, I've heard that.
I feel like there's only a few like industry shots where like, if you're in a bar and you order it, someone might look at you like, oh, maybe they work in there. If you order Rumplemints, just shot of
Now,
Rumplemints.
see, I love Rumplemints. People make fun of it.
Fernet,
Yeah.
Jameson could go either way, but I know a lot of bartenders that do Jameson. Fireball, I feel like it's kind of going away for a lot of people.
I feel like that's going away.
And then, like next week I'll be in a bar somewhere and all of a sudden I'll go to 3 bars in a row and they're all drinking the same thing. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Well, maybe we should have vet the next one.
I
What
think
could
that
it be?
maybe Yukon Jack is coming back.
Oh God, please don't.
man.
I've never liked that.
I'm
Like
sure the
snake
4-leaf
bites.
clover's the next thing. Like that's what everybody's going to start drinking.
If we can just delay the curdling or, then we'll be fine.
Or
So,
we shoot it like a bomb.
well, that's true.
Like it's supposed to be.
And that's true. Clint made a very good point. We
On
were
St.
talking
Patrick's
about
Day,
this.
nobody gives you those things, and you sit there and you casually talk to each other while you're drinking them.
Yeah.
You dump the shot, you chug it as fast as you can.
Yeah. Well, I blame these guys because I made it and they wouldn't shut the hell up and then it coagulated.
That's like
so it's on you
should have
guys.
done I do the Irish Cow Bomb, which is Irish cream, Cody Road bourbon, and then
Tip the cow.
Which the Irish
sounds
cream
good.
is amazing that we just had.
And I will say, and this isn't just because he's on here, but Tip the Cow is one of my favorite beers, always has been. I really like what's the session? Tip the Calf.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot too. So while we're talking about that, can I ask, how long have you been in the industry? Where'd you start? What got you here?
Yeah, I worked for a beer distributor in college. Kind of worked my way through. I was loading trucks, driver's helper, merchandiser, did some sales, keg route. And then moved back home after college, eventually moved out here. And then I was working at Hy-Vee. I was assistant wine and spirits manager, Johnson Avenue Hy-Vee,
Oh, nice.
which is where I met a lot of people in the industry. It's where I was doing Cicerone training through Flex Sales at the time. Actually, I was doing Cicero training before that. That's how I got the job at Hy-Vee.
You were like, I'm already on this.
What is the Cicerone training? I know what it is.
Cicerone
but
training
Yeah,
is
for people who don't
like basically like sommelier for beer.
Yep.
There are varying levels of it. There's like, I came home one night, 3 a.m, gassed, looking on the internet. I was like, ooh, pay $65 to be a certified beer
That's how I
server or
became an
whatever.
online minister.
Right? And I was like, well, I know shit about beer. I'll take this stupid quiz. And I passed it and I paid my $65. And I was like, well, that seems like kind of a rip-off. What do you do after this?
Did that
How can I
change?
monetize this?
Did that, because like I've heard of people talk about it in more recent years and they act like it's hard to go through. So maybe
The
it got
certified beer
harder.
server is super easy.
Okay.
Like I said, hammered 3 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
Missed. I don't think I missed. Maybe I missed one question, but it's a short quiz.
Yeah.
And it talks about like beer styles, beer clean glasses, stuff like that. Pretty simple stuff. If you're a beer person at all, you could pass.
Kind of. Yeah.
And then level 2, so that was certified beer server. And then originally level 2 was just certified Cicerone, which that's where I met Scott Kirby and a lot of really good guys in like the beer industry and the beer scene at the time. And I met a lot of those through Third Base originally, which is how I started doing the training. Out
Shout
there at
out.
Flex Sales.
That's my local watering hole.
So that was my first local when I moved out to Iowa.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So where are you from?
Reno, Nevada.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Came
So-
to Iowa and stayed.
Yeah.
God, you need
So-
a merit badge.
The coolest thing about your designations, but you don't have them on your business card here.
No,
Because,
because I didn't pass that second one.
folks, it's not even the important one anyway. So
Fucking
whatever.
Debbie Downer over here.
Well, I
Thanks for bringing it up, Sean.
His grandma died too. Want to talk about that?
So we go out there. It's a huge.
I mean,
it's a
it's
huge
bias
thing.
anyways, guys. It's all right. It's,
I mean, it's
all,
like a 300-400 level college class. It's no bullshit.
really okay.
You have to
All right,
study your
fuck.
ass off. I did get 100% on the tasting portion. So
That's really
Which
all.
is
That's
really
all that
theoretically, I
matters.
should never have to retake that. But like, I don't want to learn all the history. Like,
No,
there's
yeah.
too much. It's too much minutia, and I don't think it has the value in the industry that it used to.
I was just gonna say, what would it
in
add
something
to
that
you?
like will work for that helps me?
Yeah.
It still is. I'm amazed whenever I meet anyone who's advanced, even just the Cicerone, and then there's a next level, and then the next level. A lot of the guys up at Far Beverage have like high level Cicerones.
Yeah.
A lot of the distributors were putting a lot of value on it. When I worked at 7G, shout out 7G.
Yeah.
We were all required to do the beer server training, and a lot of people worked their way up that way. Garrett Lawrenson worked his way up pretty far. One of the best palates I know, and I felt that there was no value on it. So I thought I crushed it when I took the test.
Nailed it.
I knew
Yeah.
right away that I passed all the tasting portions because you went over that at the test. And I just didn't pass it.
Yeah.
And there was just no value for me. But that's what led to me getting a job at Hy-Vee. And then through Hy-Vee, I met the fine folks at 7G and the folks at Flex Sales. And I didn't want to... I liked working at Hy-Vee. They were a great company.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to be in beer.
Well, because that's kind of one of those things where, I mean, we know a lot of people who have, are currently or have worked in the wine and spirits and stuff. And it's, you kind of either stay there or
Yeah.
you jump out early, So
And
yeah.
a lot of my friends are still doing that, and I love it. Like, but it's just like I wanted to be in beer, and I worked and did whatever I could to get into beer.
Yeah.
Talking everybody through that. So I ended up starting out as the craft brand sales rep for Cedar Rapids for 7G.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what you were doing when I first met you. I think that might have been it.
Yeah, I think
It's either
so.
that or the sales route.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I probably met you first at a bottle share or something with Eric.
Well, yeah, that's definitely how I met you first. Yeah.
So I was probably doing that. I did that for a couple of years, and then I took a sales route. I was the downtown craft bar sales route
Yeah.
for Cedar Rapids, and got to know a lot of fine people that way. And then through that, I met David Morgan at Single Speed, and at the time, my boss, he had been my boss when I was the craft rep, and then I took over a sales route. But Nick Bandy left 7G and went to work for Single Speed, and there was an opportunity there for me too. And they're one of the, my favorite breweries in Iowa. I think they make, some of the best beers.
Been killing it for a very long time.
And so I left there and did that. And then Dave and Aaron Vargas from Back Pocket have been friends for a long time. And we're just looking at the industry and how can we help each other out as much as we can. And it's a really tough industry, right?
Especially,
and no matter
especially
how,
now, like it's changed a
Right.
lot in the last year.
Talk about like the ebb and flows, like it's like non-existing
Double
to
digit
then all of a
growth
sudden
year after year without doing
unbelievable to then
and
shrink it back
we're
down.
very all over the place on this, so I apologize in advance. But that's one of the things when I got into it, there was nothing here, and so every time you'd go to St. Louis or you went anywhere outside of Sierra Rapids, you're like, oh my god, there's all these beers I've never seen. So you grab them all. Then it blew up. Everything was available everywhere. I'm like, everything I bought a year ago in St. Louis is now on the shelves here. Well, then everyone kind of went like, this bubble has to burst. Because I mean, there was, and I don't mean this in any
building.
right. So
For
the good
years
one,
and
because
years and
competition is good.
Yeah.
So it was great. There was a lot of breweries opening that were not good, and you felt bad right away because you're like, there's just no way. And so a lot of those went out, but it's still growing. People don't realize that. I think a lot of people think the bubble burst, it's gone. It's like, no, there's better beer being made constantly, but the ones who could keep up are sticking around.
Yeah. And we're super fortunate in Iowa. We have
Yeah.
really good breweries. And you don't realize that as much until you travel outside of Iowa.
Yep.
And you're like, I want local stuff. What's your local restaurant? What's your local spirits? What are you guys drinking?
Sure.
And so when you get a local beer and you're like, oh, I love IPAs or pale ales or whatever. And then you get it and you're like, oh, this kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah. You're like, I was really expecting that.
Which sucks, because I want everyone to make good beer, because when everyone's making good beer, we're all doing better.
Yeah.
Sure.
Everyone wins, everyone rises. Yeah.
And the way the industry's going right now, it's kind of shifting and ebbing and flowing like it always does. And it has. We've kind of been through something similar like this before in the 90s, early 2000s, I think. But
Yeah.
maybe it was 96. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's happened before. And the problem is kids aren't drinking right now.
Yeah.
Damn you kids.
I mean,
Now,
it's,
see, this
that's
pussy
really what it
generation,
comes down
that's
to.
another thing I want to talk about.
See?
Grow some fucking balls. Kids.
See,
No,
we're
I'm
cool.
kidding.
We're
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, well, that's the problem is like they don't think we're fucking cool. They're like, oh, you fuckers, you can drink.
Yeah. Well, and there's been the explosion in THC drinks. And I mean, there's just so many things going on. I mean, next it's going to be like,
Yeah, but
you
they're
know,
not doing that as much either. I mean,
No.
like they're not doing it in. Here's the thing, like I graduated in '99.
I graduated in 98. So, yeah.
God, you guys are
90
fucking old.
99 for me too. Yeah.
So like when I hear kids talking about stuff right now, I'm like, dude, like we used to drink. We used to like we did everything in excess. Like
Yeah,
what
we
the
had
fuck is
keggers, yeah.
microdosing?
Granted, for me, it was. I mean, it was Busch Light all the way.
Well, sure, but
Real quick, everyone make sure you drink responsibly. Okay, go ahead.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, I don't
And
know.
Sophie and Cooper, if you're listening, turn it off.
Yeah. Go to bed.
But they're not drinking in excess like we
Right.
did, which is, good for them. It's
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
they're
yeah,
healthier and all this shit.
Sure.
But I don't know. The industry needs you guys to come back.
Just come back and have a couple.
Use code "We're Still Cool," right? When you check out with a 6-pack. Yeah. No, I mean that is a thing, and the weirder thing to me is then people want to push for, oh, we're gonna have a sober mixed drink craft bar or whatever.
Yeah,
but
those don't work.
They don't stay open. Yeah, it can't work because if you do that, well, you'd rather just sit home and drink orange juice or whatever. And again, I'm not knocking it, but that is the other side of
And
it.
you don't have that liquid courage, man.
You definitely
It
don't.
does. That's how you go to those places and they're just a bunch of groups.
Maybe that's
as
why no
opposed to
one talks in
big-
person anymore
yeah.
anyway.
Right?
Also, I've only been to 2 of them, but they don't tend to have the things that bars have. Well, they don't have them as much anymore in bars, but like pool tables, darts,
Yep.
something to do while you're
Right.
imbibing.
Right.
Which is my favorite.
Which is the
'cause there's-
social aspect. That's
yeah.
why taverns and pubs and everything are so much fun, because you can sit there by yourself at a bar, have a beer. You come sit down next to me. You order a beer. Get tired of staring at the fucking TV. Eventually, I'm going to say something.
It always happens.
Maybe we're going to go play a game of pool, whatever.
Yep.
That's why, like, I love pubs.
That's
I
my
love
favorite thing.
bars.
Yep.
I fucking love.
Well,
that.
even to your comment, even a TV, right? Because it could be a game that's on that you like react to, and then next thing you're kind of figuring it out with vice versa, even if it's
Maybe you're against
root
each
for
other,
different
but now
people
you're-
or not. But
Yep.
then it's like, yeah, all of a sudden that leads to, did you see this? Did you see, and this whole community that you're just talking, you're all the same, you know, you're just different things. The next thing you know, you're connecting dots that
Did
way.
we just
So,
become best friends?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of us did, is in the bars. So,
Yeah.
so,
Dude.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I'm glad people are being held, and like that's fine. But I just think people need to get out more. Is my big
COVID
thing, you know.
fucked up a lot of that
A
shit.
lot of it.
Ruined it for a lot of people.
It did.
And I was talking to, I can't remember, it was a bar owner in Iowa City, and I was talking about like, it seems like sales have been like a little up, and they said, well, this is the first class of students that was never part of the lockdown.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So they come in as freshmen and have never been locked down. So
Yeah, because the
until
other ones had the
last
huge
year, everyone
gap.
who graduated was part of the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
And,
So
and
mentally-
a big part of where they're at,
Right.
whether
In
they're
college.
seniors all the way down. Yeah.
Right. You're there for that experience. So their theory was that the reason that those kids didn't go out as much was because they were part of that lockdown. So it kind of got built into their psyche, and they, you know, maybe I don't know if they didn't feel safe, or they just figured out, oh, shit, I can save a lot of money staying here or whatever.
Yeah.
But they weren't. And then that next crop of freshmen came in and they were never a part of that. And they were like, well, I want to go to the fucking bars.
Yeah.
And no one was there to say like, well, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Right.
Do you have your
The
mask?
way it should be. No. Man, I never even considered that because we all went through it. We all were, you know, locked in and
Some of us were just already drinkers that drank a lot more while it
well,
shut
yeah,
down.
and it kind of like I don't miss COVID by any means, but the local thing kicked way up.
for sure.
That is the thing I will say that was the best thing that came out of COVID was everyone realized how important it is to go out and support local. I mean, I know for me, I always did, but not to the degree I do now. Now I make it a point to, like you said, if I go out, I'm like, what's the local spirit I can have? What's the local beer? I mean, I do drink some lattes because sometimes you just need 6
they're
or
delicious.
8. Yeah, they're the best. So, but yeah, I mean, there's plus and minuses of it, but yeah, I never considered the fact that some of these kids had just never done it.
I felt like,
hadn't when he
I
said
felt
that
like
either.
COVID like helped me my deviant behavior be acceptable. Like people are like cheering on me like shower chugging during COVID.
Oh, dude,
'cause,
that's
like,
no bullshit.
Oh,
Some
yeah,
of those
dude.
fucking groups that we were in on social
Because
media.
that was the way you interacted. You were like,
for
I can't
sure.
go hang out with you.
You
but
know,
we can
sneaky
send
snakes
videos.
and all that stupid
Let's
shit.
talk about some other things it brought back. It brought back icing because
Yep.
unfortunately
Fair.
that had went away, and I don't give a shit. I love doing it to people, and I don't mind getting them.
We did it. Remember, I took her on the speaker. Ashley and I went around, dropped
Yeah.
it off on all you guys'
Your
doorstep.
friends would pull up.
and then he'd pull up and ice, baby. We
Yep.
had the music blaring, and it was like, what a great way to spend a Saturday.
Yeah, we'd go to friends' houses and have shooters and like Easter eggs on Easter and just like plant them in the yard. Eric, shout out to this guy. He showed up to my house once. He goes, "Hey, go grab 4 of your beer glasses and put them on your front stoop and number them 1 to 4." And I'm like, "What the fuck is he doing?" So I did. I
you
grabbed
did.
like 4 chalices. I just set them out and wrote 1, 2, 3, 4. And he came out with. He drove up with 4 killer beers and gave me like, you know, a half a glass of each one. He's like, "These are 4 you've never had. See you, buddy." It was just
It was like a blind tasting.
It was just
almost,
like, you know,
nice.
fuck the tooth fairy. I had the beer fairy. It was
That's
awesome.
fucking awesome.
So
That's
yeah,
where it's at. I love that.
but that's
What-
the thing. There was some fun shit that came out of it.
What is the most surprising way you guys have been iced?
Okay, I can.
Come on, Mike. What's the best way?
Fuck you. It wasn't yours. No, it was. It was.
It wasn't.
Better.
There's 2 in there, and like I'm not going to give you too much props. It wasn't
Come
that
on,
genius.
it
I'm
was
just
pretty
that,
good.
I'm that
surprised you
gullible.
did. I just knew I had to beat you to the punch before
I know.
you got me.
It was when we did the podcast. It was one of our first episodes we started, and he's like, you know, it was your kind of, you agreed to do this. We've been talking about it forever. I wanted to get you a little something, and I just never thought in a million years he was going to do it to me, and he got me. The other one was a buddy. This was like, I think during COVID. It was on Christmas. We went to a buddy's house. No, it was right before. And I opened it, and it was an Apple Watch case, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then I opened it and it was an ice. I'm like, oh, I knew you wouldn't give me that.
So you went from so high to like you went from
How
like
the fuck did
you
they
went
get a
from- yeah.
beer in an Apple Watch case?
It was,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know,
know.
but it fit perfect. I think it was like one of the newer ones. But there's a video of me doing it, and I am so defeated, just like you mother, like yeah. But I will say the best one I ever heard of was. Oh, and by the way, Jody, she's the one I had try Fernet recently and liked it. But I think it was hers. Their buddy had drove for a long time to get to their house. They knew he'd have to piss really bad. So they took an ice and put it in a sealed like Ziploc and taped it to the top of the lid. So when he opened it, there was an ice there. And I was
That's
like,
amazing.
damn.
That's
That's
awesome.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I remember I helped you at a wedding. You were giving a speech, and I had to all of a sudden come up and deliver
Yeah. God, whose wedding was that?
TJ's.
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
I think it was TJ's. I think
Yeah,
it was.
but anyways, all of a sudden Mike comes over to me, like hands. I'm like, "Well, you fucker," and he goes, "No." He goes, "I need
For
you
once
to
it's not
deliver
for you.
this."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You'll see when I look over you. I want you to walk up here and set this up on the table." And I like,
It's like, you're
all of
hearing a
sudden,
speech, you're not
he
gonna
like looks
expect
at me,
that.
like walk up, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Tink."
Yeah. There's never
And
a
it was
bad
a
time.
huge. It was a big one too. It wasn't the.
Oh, that might have been. Oh, that was Nick's, I think.
Maybe it was
Anyway,
Jen
yeah,
and
but it was
anyways,
the bomber one.
It was a good one.
Don't do that
It was
to
really
people.
good.
That's not
But it
nice.
was pretty.
What about
sweet,
yours?
so.
I got iced on my 30th birthday, and I was well on the way.
Yeah.
I got iced by Kristen and Joe's daughter, Chloe,
That's awesome.
and I was wearing a fucking hat, like a velvet hat with bunny ears and shit on it that I got at Oktoberfest. My birthday usually falls around Oktoberfest in
Yeah.
La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is where I met my wife. And I can't remember how they did it, but I walked into the dining room and she was there below eye level, and there's like Uncle Clint, and like I looked down and she was holding ice. I was like, Jesus Christ.
See, and that's a good point.
Which is
too,
fucking great. That's
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah, you don't
I-
Get him in the game.
That has
him in the
happened
game.
recently. Like once like I've been iced by a kid before, and you're like, well, I can't let you down.
Right.
I guess I'm gonna do it. You know?
Brantley's gotten me multiple times. 'Cause
Yeah,
he
shout out to
just-
Brantley.
Yeah, he'll just roll
You,
up.
just, you don't see him coming, and boom, you're done.
Out of nowhere.
Has anyone ever gotten you good?
I've had a couple of interesting ones. I can't think of like a story right off. I was thinking of the one that I got you where I wasn't even intending to ice you, but I opened Zach's trunk and there was one sitting there. So I
Yeah,
just iced you with it.
that was still bullshit because Zach is really good at getting.
I just
people.
opened the trunk and there was one sitting there, so I turned around and handed it.
We
to
were
him.
gonna. Yeah, we were
That's
gonna.
bullshit. That should be your ice.
Thank you. That's what I said. He goes, "Well, I touched it." I'm like, "Yes, so it's yours."
Yeah.
But it was
You're the first one to see it.
I think we were gonna help carry stuff in, and it was just sitting there. And I was like, "Well, now this is why you don't try and help people."
That's
'cause,
not bad.
yeah,
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I've done a couple where like at my house, I'll put them in before anybody gets there. I'll put them in the couch and I'm like, hey, can you get the remote over there? And
Yeah, you did that recently. I think you did that on the Super Bowl. Like you just sit, you're like, "Ow!" and there's an ice poking you in the ass. Yeah.
So first you take the pain.
Yeah.
Then you dull the pain.
you're like, "Oh, Daddy." Oh, I mean, what the hell? This is bullshit. Yeah, Jesus, get out of here.
All right. So obviously, Clint, you hooked us up. You brought us some great beer here. The good combo. I mean, the drink. It's growing on me. So
Tell me you're
before the
halfway
end of
through it. You're like, fuck.
Maybe before the end of it, we need
I
to
can have
back it
another
up
one
for a
of these for
refill.
sure.
But and you got like the coolest job. I think any beer drinker sitting here going, how cool would it be if you got to do that all day long? I mean, I can think about to myself looking back going, how do you get into that stuff?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and the fact that you can do it and while you
It's like Lemony Snicket.
whatever, it's pretty sweet. But
Fortunate events.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But give us a quick rundown. All right, so you got family, kids. What are we dealing with here? So
Yeah.
we can get into some of the life stuff that everyone likes here.
Wife, 3 kids.
Oh.
11, 8, and 6.
11,
girl,
8,
boy.
and 6.
Damn, you're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good spacing.
Girl,
11,
boy,
8 is
girl.
like consistent.
Girl 11, girl 8. girl
Gotcha.
6.
Girl, what? Got it.
Okay. All right.
How long you been married?
It will be.
Eric, can you edit this
It'll
out?
be no. It'll be 15 years in September.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'll remove the
All
delay.
right. All right.
What'd you say?
I'll remove the delay.
Hey, well, in fairness,
In fairness, I had to figure out what year it was.
and we had to
That's-
figure out how many drinks
Talking
we've
about all
already
this
had.
history, and I was like,
Guys, everyone on this podcast other than me is old. It takes them a while to think these things through.
We got a math.
You know how nice it is though to have once a week where I'm the young one. Like it never happens.
Yeah.
So it's great.
We're still trying
continue.
to. You're young, but we're still trying to decide if you're cool. Fucker.
punk ass kids.
I'm the pulse of the generation. What are you talking about?
We'll just turn this one to you. Yep, there you go.
I'm getting pretty used to
Clint,
it.
what's one of those scenarios where you were like, am I still cool? Got anything like that?
You run into anything lately where you're like, or anything dawn on you?
Hold
Kind of
on,
like
though.
the.
I want to say, I bet it hits him. And this isn't me just fluffing your balls, but like with being in that industry, you're kind of like you're constantly with the young people. You're kind of with the our age people. I'd feel like I'm pretty cool, probably a lot more at that job.
You probably got to wear like 10 different hats depending on like
Yeah.
kind of what bar you walk in. Like who do you like?
Who you're dealing with?
Who you're dealing with? Like who do they serve? Like they're serving like the
I'm pretty
people that
fortunate
want
that
craft beer or
My
yeah.
kids are still young enough that they think it's cool that whenever we go somewhere, I usually know
You know
somebody.
everybody.
Yeah.
Because they like to go out and eat, you know.
I'm going to warn you that goes away because like my daughter fucking hates it.
My wife fucking hates it too.
Yeah.
She's like, Jesus Christ, can we fucking get out of here?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know.
Well, I just,
we go again.
it's not going to get any better after you've been on this podcast. They're just going to be,
Right. In
you'll see
droves.
people taking pictures.
Yeah.
That are hanging out in your front lawn. We're sorry for that, but you know, hey,
autographs get
it
old.
adds to you.
That's the risk I was willing to
It
take.
adds to you here. Yeah. That's the level we're at here, folks. So yeah.
Yeah, so they still like that, which is, I mean, my kids still think I'm cool.
Yeah. So, and that's the best
For the
thing.
most part, Avery, my oldest, is getting there where
Yeah.
she's like,
You said 11 is the old. Yep. That's about when it's starting.
Yeah.
My daughter's 12 and that's, it just turned the last year. Like you go,
but she turns around really quick. Like she'll say or do
because she's still got the
something.
daddy's girl in her. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then she'll be pissed at me and she'll like, whatever. And what the problem with her is we're the same fucking person. So,
It's like arguing in a mirror.
yes, it sucks. And there's times that I've seen like Jody behind me or behind Avery just laughing.
Yeah.
It's your fucking
Yeah.
daughter.
Look what you did. Remember all those years of me making fun of you for
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's starting to get there, but you know, for the most part, although Sierra, she's like, you walk her to school or whatever, she's like, get the fuck away from me. She doesn't want to be associated with you at all.
Oh, yeah.
But Wyatt is still like, no, you're walking me all the way to the door. I'm going to give you a giant hug. I'm going to yell, I love you. When
like,
you leave.
goddamn
I'm
right
like,
you are.
hell yeah.
That's the same thing. My son is that way too. Love you, Dad. I'm like, that's right, buddy.
See, I feel like Cooper will always kind of own it. Just 'cause
but I
that's
think
him.
at this point he does it because I'm kind of like, I feel like it's going to burn out, but I think he just does it. Like, I think he just kind of wears it like because he'll say it to Ashley. He says, I think he says it to the camera, love you.
Yeah.
Love you. Like, I'm like, good for you. I think
How old is he?
he is 12.
Can you edit- can you edit out all that?
Sorry.
delay out.
Edit that
Well,
delay.
his birthday's next weekend. So
You know what I'm-
it's 13.
Do you know what I'm doing right now? Running my kids' birthdays, running every important date through my head so I don't have a delay.
He'll be 13 next weekend.
We're
This
gonna
is
wait
what I was like,
15
where are we
minutes
at
and
here?
come back
Yeah. So
So
we're hitting that sweet spot here where we're going to find out real quick when that's going to change.
I mean, Jack has always been the sweetest, whatever, but
Yep.
he's finally hitting the point 16, 17.
Dude, it was about a
watch
year. It was
out.
about a year
Just
ago
watch
for
out.
Jack. I remember
Yeah.
seeing him for the first time. Not even a long time. It's like just something changed. I was like, "What's up?" It's like, or it's like, "Hey, Jack." He's like, "What's up, I'm Soro." I was like,
Oh, Mr. What up?
"Fuck happened to you, man?" Like just overnight, it felt like he aged 10 years.
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn."
Okay. So while we're on a little bit of the top, beer and with Clint in here with us today.
Yeah.
I randomly social media run past the Real Men of Genius commercials.
Real man of genius.
How good were those fucking commercials?
Here's to you, Mr. Middle Finger. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
Mr.
those.
Taco Salad inventor. 1,200 calories. Is this good for me? Of course, it's a salad.
By the way, never went away. Every time I get a salad, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm healthy. And
Yes.
then I'm like, add everything to make it
Can I have
unhealthy.
extra range, please?
Yeah, and then they're like, if there's room, we'll put a little bit of lettuce on
gotta
it.
go,
Otherwise, it's meat and beans and cheese.
Chips. And you got to go, oh, more ranch. It's not enough. Yeah.
But it got
Iowa
me
style.
leading. What other kind of things? Remember, like some things just take off like that. Like the Real Men of Genius is just a beer commercial, and a lot of the beer commercials
there's-
take off. But what else do you remember? Like kind of taken off that was really good. Which I got a couple in my head, but
For some reason, I'm going all the beer ones. Maybe,
yeah.
But like, there was the Bud with the frogs.
the Budweiser.
Bud. Yeah. And then what was the other one? I was just going to say that one.
Yes. Yeah, that was
And then
good.
they did it on one of the Scream, or not, what was the fake Scream movies? The parody
Scary
ones.
movie.
Scary movie, where they did that. What's up? Yeah.
I don't think it ever aired for real, but the swear jar
The
one
Bud,
where
the
like,
Bud
oh,
Light.
we're raising
Yeah.
money to buy Bud Light. And
Yeah.
it was like an internet ad, and it was like, hey, go
I'll
fuck
fucking do
yourself.
that. Yeah.
What are we
Fuck
going to do
yourself,
with all
Todd.
this? We're going to buy Bud Light or something for it. Oh, go fuck yourself. Yeah.
Oh, the other one was, because that made me think of it. Terry Tate. The office
the
linebacker.
yeah.
He was the man. And he was like Terry Crews before Terry Crews was popular.
But Terry Cruz's Old Spice commercials, those were fucking
that's
crazy
true.
as shit.
With his
Right.
pecs
Like,
bouncing.
those are
Right. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
Like whoever
yeah.
came up with
Right,
those
yeah.
was
See, there's something
wild.
that
That was
not
back in the
beer.
wild, wild west of like advertising. I feel like everyone was doing crazy shit then.
And now
you
it's
don't
mo-
see that stuff anymore.
No, every Super Bowl
commercials are-
sucks.
yeah.
I mean,
There's-
if you're lucky, there's one that's good,
I
but
still the best
But it
commercial.
wouldn't be good 10 years ago. It just is good now. It stands out a little bit.
that's true. That's
One
a
of the
good
best
point.
commercials I ever remember, and the company is out of business. It was a Super Bowl commercial when the .com thing took off, and it was a ball bouncing, and it just said, "We just wasted $2.5 million for you to watch a ball," and then it said, "Ding, dot, blah blah blah."
Jesus.
You know, like I remember what it was, like, but I knew what it was then, like because I was like,
But it
that
stuck with you.
fucking commercial is great.
Well, didn't
Because you're like waiting for it was just like an orange ball bouncing in this black room, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden I was like, "We just wasted."
why can't I think of his name? Kanye West. I think he did one when he launched like his shoes like a few years ago. He was like, "This cost $5 million, so all you get is me talking into a camera." And it was like him in the back of a car. It looked like it was shot on like a potato. Like it was terrible quality, but I remember it. So
Have you
it
seen
clearly
his newest
stuck.
video?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was like,
he's
moving on.
I was saying, right
Didn't he do
I'm like,
another one and then just like post some Nazi
Guys,
shit?
lots of ways.
You know what? You know what's still cool? Getting canceled.
that
Let me
right,
talk
I was
about
saying,
it.
yeah, how about we lean into that one here? So, no, but honestly, those random things that pop up. I'm like, God, these were such great like just
That was the
that
cool stuff.
total. It was you don't see that anymore. But then I watched some
Taco
commercials.
Bell had a really good run there with the Yokiro Taco Bell.
Okay, yeah.
Fast food chains before
I'm
they.
just a man, just a guy, just a dude, and I'm hungry.
Oh my
I'm
God.
moving real fast. I'm going first class for steak at Taco Bell. Yeah,
I
I
don't remember that at all.
I do now. I would have
Kidding me?
never.
I can sing the rest of it.
Oh my God. Please clip that.
Jones in for a beefsteak taco. It's the king of meat. Sorry, running a walk because I can't find a horse to ride there.
I feel like you're just making it up
for a
now.
marinade steak for a steak at Taco Bell.
I do not remember that whole thing.
That's
I remember.
fucking
I feel like I remember part of it. Dude, Sean's got to start making jingles for commercials after this.
The
I didn't
fast
make that
food
up. That was
commercial-
it. I
No,
don't
that was
even-
great. That
Yeah.
was great. That was spot
That was
on.
good.
Yeah,
The one that I remember the most was you guys don't have Jack in the Box out here,
We
but
never have,
fucking great.
and I've heard that.
Amazing tacos. Matt Carlson and I are, on the same
Connoisseurs.
page on that.
Yeah,
Hillary, not so much.
that I can
But-
see.
They had one where they had a Chipotle, whatever, and Jack, who's this fucking
He's just like an
guy
out
in
of
a
the-
suit. He's a guy in
Yeah.
a suit with his like foam head and
Pointy-
the hat.
pointy
and,
hat.
The Jack in the
thing
Box
that
guy,
you,
like
you
the-
put it on your, like it looks like the thing you put on your antenna.
Yeah.
It's like an upside
And
down ice
he'd
cream
be
cone.
like Chipotle, Chipotle, shit like that. Oh.
Oh,
Did
so
that
now's a good time to
seriously-
say there's a really bad weather right now, and I think
Did that storm just
that
pop
came
on the
through
mics?
the mics. Yeah,
Dude, that was
that
loud.
was pretty loud.
And if anybody's not worried about us, we're in a garage right now. So if you hear about something that leveled an area,
Should we check the weather?
I think we're
Nah,
come on.
I haven't gotten a text from my wife. So
All right. Yeah, I was going to say, lights are still on. We're fine.
But I always thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's good. I remember a lot of the animals, like Spud McKenzie. People forget about.
Oh.
Spud McKenzie was
Spud's the Bud man?
He was the bull terrier for Bud Light way back.
Yes, that was one of the. I felt like that was kind of like the kickoff to some of those, or at least
Those are
in
some
my
of the most
life.
collectible. Like, there's a lot of collectible AB stuff, but a lot of people our age really like that Spud McKenzie stuff, and they want that.
because that's kind of when it got, like aunts and uncles for me. Since,
it was like
since
Spud
I'm way younger
McKenzie.
than you guys, it was like that's when it was blowing up.
Right? No shit. That was like, oh,
Yeah, but like I remember that.
Joe
with, like-
Camel, Spud McKenzie, the Marlboro Man.
Yep.
Which is
Why do I feel like there was another animal for beer? Oh, I might be thinking of Red Dog.
well, there, it used to be Red Dog,
Red Dog.
or whatever, Mad, or yeah.
Yeah, but that
they still
wasn't
make
like a.
Red Dog? Was
Yeah, that
the
was
one
just
where,
a
like,
specific beer.
Like if you turn it this way, it looks like Batman's eating out a girl.
By the way, it does. So I grew up in a bar. Somebody told me that when I was very young, and I was like, it does. I mean, it. Look.
Oh,
up
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Look at the logo. Yeah, I was like, I gotta go tell somebody about this. And by someone, I mean me. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking good.
Yeah, I don't know if I can think of a lot of.
Well-
This is the shit where I'm like, I want to remember all of it.
You're
It
gonna
makes me feel
also
young
you're gonna
again.
think about that, but it also leads me to another point. Then there's these other commercials. You're like, who the fuck approved that? Who sat there, paid this marketing company, and went, "You fucking nailed it." You know
Because
what I
it's
mean?
good
Where
or
it's
bad?
just trash.
Oh,
No, like I'm
God.
just saying, like look at some of these where you're like,
I feel like
not
that's constant now.
It's not funny. It's not. It's weird. It's like, what did you pay for? You know what I mean? And
Those first insurance ones with like the llama and shit, I was like, what the fuck?
Like,
and
Mike-
now
Mike-
it's like a whole
early ones.
campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The early ones
Hump
were a little bit
day.
weird, but
Guess I was wrong on
well, the Hump Day was good.
Yeah, but I guess my
yeah.
thing is, I look at a lot of these commercials and I say, this would never make me want to buy that product. But clearly it's working. Otherwise, why would they keep doing it? I mean, they do so much research into this. It's like it must be doing something, right?
I don't know. I just kind of feel like if you run a fucking ad 100 times an hour, then you're going to remember that way, not because it's good.
Well,
Cindy Crawford buying a Pepsi out of a machine
Can we get back
in
to
the
that?
Oh,
desert.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a fucking
Back when
that was a
Pepsi
win.
Clear was a thing. Like, let's go back to those days.
Oh my God, Pepsi Clear.
Dude, Pepsi Clear, which I wish I can't even remember. Like, did it really taste like Pepsi?
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did
It's
it?
been so
It basically
long.
tastes the same to me.
Bring
Did you try
back.
it when they re-brought it out?
No, I didn't. I totally
It didn't
missed
taste
that.
like I remembered.
Yeah, no, because we're old now. I will tell you what did taste like I remembered, and it was delicious, was fucking Zima. When they brought it back, I was like,
Delicious.
Oh,
Would you,
It wasn't
yeah.
quite the
did
same.
you drop a
no,
Jolly Rancher?
the only
in there?
reason
Or, I
it
mean,
was good is
what?
because it was nostalgic. It was like, yeah, you drop the Jolly Ranchers in there, you're like, look, I'm young again.
God,
and
I
then
drank
you have
so
gut
much
rot after
fucking
one and you
Zima.
go to bed. Yeah.
Unbelievable amount.
I
Were you
didn't
stealing
drink
it from your
Zima.
parents, or why were
Really?
you
What
drinking
was
Zima?
up?
Because this was before I liked any good beer. It was like I grew up in
It
Busch
was-
Light, and then I like wanted some other stuff. And
Well, because kids hated beer, like, I mean, or at least some of them, the pussies. And then like, so there was we had friends who drank just natural ice, the plain original ice. We had a roommate who that's all he drank. I mean, he would drink 8 of them in a night. And you're like, dude, how are you doing that? But shout out to Adam, your brother-in-law. The first time I met him was at a party. He answered the door. He was wasted. And I was 14 years old, and he's like, I can't finish this. And it was a Zima, and I just chugged it on the spot. And we've been friends ever since. So, you know,
Oh, and if the next comment after that was we've been gay together and share a house, it would be perfect.
you already know that.
How'd you meet? Our eyes locked over a Zima that we
Over a
shared and
Zima,
turned
yeah.
into.
Watermelon Jolly Rancher floating at the bottom.
He already had
He
it
had
in
green
there.
apple. I was like, ugh, dude. And I gave him some raspberry, and it's been love ever since. Yeah.
so that makes me think of kind of a fun topic. What was your like gateway to something other than light beer and wine coolers, whatever? What was your like?
Like the
I'm gonna be a big boy now and drink. Mine was Amberbach. So
Oh,
I
that's
had
when you were like,
Amberbach, and I was like, oh, this is good.
Like, this
so
is
I'm
gonna
try
be-
some different shit.
this is gonna be when I'm like with the grown ups. I'm gonna order this. Like kind of
Amberbach and Blue Moon were my kind of like
so
working away from just drinking.
I have a
Busch
great
Light.
story or I have a good comment for this. Go ahead.
well, so like mine was kind of a process because I remember the first time was I had a Sam Adams. Like again, I don't know, 22 or I don't know. And I was like, that's really good and it's a nice change. But then I never had it again. And then I had a Torpedo from Sierra Nevada, and I was like, that's fucking weird, and I like it. And then the one that like really just pushed me over the edge, and I don't even really love it now, was 90 Minute from Dogfish Head. Wade brought me one, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I loved it. I drank it so much. And now I don't even drink it. But that's like, once that was over, it was like I was obsessed with IPAs. And then I scaled back from that. Now I've been into all the other styles, like the lighter. As you get older and you drink more, it's like I'd rather have just a nice wheat beer or a Pilsner or whatever. But
Yeah.
that was it for me.
Mine was Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah.
It's still my desert island beer. I think it's the best beer in the fucking world.
It's so good.
It
I said
kicked off a
Torpedo. That's what I
whole-
meant though. Yeah. Just the
I mean,
regular
Torpedo's
green
great
label.
too, but
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it kicked off a whole that's in my mind. That's what kicked off American craft beer. I mean, there's other things that
agree.
happen, but like without Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, the craft beer revolution probably doesn't happen the way that it did.
The
happen.
way it did.
Wow.
And when you drink that beer now,
Shout
it's
out
still
to it then.
super
There you
aggressive.
go. Yeah.
Like thinking about that beer coming out in 1980 is
Crazy.
fucking insane.
I've still said that. People have told me that, and I'm like, there's no way. No one would drink it. And they're like, no, they did, and it stuck. It just, they did it the right way. They weren't
So
going
that
anywhere.
was that was my first thing. But I have distinct memory of sitting in my buddy's dad's shop drinking Sierra Nevada Celebration, which is when I first realized that there's like seasonals for breweries. I was like, holy
I
shit.
love Celebration, by the way.
And which, if you could get it year round, I mean, that's probably my favorite beer. It's so fucking good, but I'll stick with Pale Ale. It's a perfect beer. And I remember my buddy's doing skate tricks over here. We've got Beastie Boys blaring in the background. And I remember sitting there a little stoned and looking at this beer and being like, this is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this? And I'm,
The epiphany hit.
17 years old. Like, holy shit.
Back when people drank not like pussies. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, like I came from a beer family. So like my dad was a home brewer and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh, was
so,
he really? Oh, that's cool.
Like craft beer wasn't a weird thing for me.
But that's crazy. Like your dad was a home brewer. Like that's something you never heard of.
Yeah, well, he's a geologist, and those engineers are kind of looking for something.
They like to fuck with shit.
other
like
things
to
they could
mess
do
with-
to like
create
fuck around
things.
with, and so
That's-
he had a whole bunch of people in his office that made beer, and they traded beer, and they were
That's
super,
awesome.
super nerdy.
See,
about
now
it.
that's not weird to hear about, but thinking of that 30 years
In
ago.
like 92,
that's
93.
crazy. Yeah. Wow.
That's hilarious. I remember my drink was, well, Chris Caton. He had the coolest cousin. His cousin was like, just like his cousin Corey was like the stud. Is like, got all the gals. Cool dude. But we talked to him one time. We're like, all right, man, when we go to the bars, we don't want to be like the douchebags that order like whatever everyone was shooting
Amber
or whatever.
Bock.
Like, what,
No, I'm
what can we do that sounds a little classier? He's like, you want a good classy one that tastes pretty decent? We're like, yeah. He's like, Stoli's Orange and Tonic. He goes, it sounds good when you say it.
I don't even know what that is.
There's Stoli's Orange.
Stoli vodka.
Yeah,
orange
Stoli vodka,
I
orange
thought you were
flavored.
talking about a beer.
I know. Oh, I'm just sorry. I was talking about drink. This is like because
okay.
I never went down the craft
follow
beer
along.
type thing that you guys did. But when I mixed it, so it sounded sweet, right? There you
Yeah.
go. Sound pretty fucking good here. All right. Stoli's Orange and Tonic. You order in front of a girl. Like that's what he told us.
See,
He's
it
like,
still
"Yep, there you
sounds
go."
good to me.
It's like when it rolls off your mouth, it sounds so good. I would order it not knowing what it was until finally one day at the store, I was like, holy God, Stoli's Orange is it's an actual like already mixed together. I had no idea what I was saying. I just would say it off the top
You
of my
thought
head.
they were adding, like,
And it tastes
OJ
pretty good.
or-
No, I just
yeah.
started like,
it's
Stoli's
Stoli
Orange and Tonic.
Orange.
Like, yeah.
It's three words. That's what it
Stoli's
is.
Orange
Yeah.
and throw a little tonic on it. So
Yeah.
shout out to Corey and Chris. I know you'll be listening to this, but that's where it's at. So that's when we felt like we were the classy ones, right?
Yeah, I
There you
mean,
go.
that
Yeah,
makes sense.
class
You
up.
were, when was that? Like,
Well, it would have been like college bars. Like
Yeah,
literally, we were
so-
going to college bars in order to like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that
'Cause-
still how you get the chicks? You think? Like,
Hey, tonight go home to Ashley and be
Yeah.
like,
Made you Stoli's Orange and
she's
Tonic.
asleep, right? So
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
rub her arm and you're like, Stoli's Orange. and she's going to be
Dump it
like,
on me.
well,
Yeah.
you know what time it is.
Well-
Slam the door.
Well,
It is 9:15. I don't know what the hell you're thinking.
Ouch, you're on my hair.
Exactly,
I have to work tomorrow.
Exactly. That was exactly, yeah. I don't think it ever really works, but I felt fucking cool when I do it.
I mean, that's true. So I do have one email I have to get out of the way.
Out of the way. Come on.
Well, no, because
Out of the way. Nothing. We love it. Bring it on.
no, but I'll tell you the reason why I say that because
Okay.
so this is from your sister.
Ooh.
But it's not good for you. You might want to go get a drink. No, I'm kidding. But she emailed us like 3 weeks ago and it didn't show up. Like it went to another folder. So I had to
Right.
find that. So I'm
what
just
folder did it go to?
You had her like flagged.
no, that's the thing. I've never done anything on this.
Sorry,
so.
Kelly.
Yeah. What'd you do, Eric? You fuck. So this was from a couple weeks ago, and then there's going to be another one, and then I have a question for Clint. So
Uh-oh. Pardon
Nailed
that.
it.
that was Eric. He's an idiot. So it says, "Hey gents, have to start with this. And what in the fuck, Sean? Peeing in the shower is gross. I am Team Mikey all the way on this one. We shared a bathroom for a long time, and I am horrified. So before I go into the
I am
rest, I'm going to
all
ask
in on peeing
Clint,
in the
are you
shower.
Team
Yes,
Sean? God damn, and I knew you were. I like because."
I mean, what are you gonna do? Stop and get out? Fucking, that's ridiculous.
How long
Take
do you
the bathroom all
hold
fucking
on?
wet?
How long do you shower? One and two. If you're in there for 5 minutes, I just go before. I never have to pee.
Warm water triggers urination. I feel like.
How many shower beers are you
definitely
guys
does.
drinking? Like 2 is the max. Like just get out.
I don't even do that,
Man,
but
I have a 6-year-old and he can pee right before he goes in and he still pisses in the shower. You know why? Because it's fucking fun.
You know, actually, that's a good point.
Hey, don't piss on the
Sometimes
shampoo or
it's
nothing.
great.
Straight
Yeah,
down the floor.
don't do that. I should ask my kids though. My
I'm going to
kids,
take a shower at your house.
my kids, might, oh, fuck.
Fucking
My kids
hose it
might do
down.
it, and I don't even know. So
I bet they do.
that's my homework.
I
Well,
guarantee
I
you
will
they
say
do.
much more common with boys than girls.
They do.
Yes,
But there's something fucking
Or
awesome. when a
boys
girl
and
does it.
girls. I said it the other way, didn't I?
you did, but we knew it.
We knew what you were talking about.
So,
And I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I should ask my girls. They won't answer
right?
me.
They're not going to answer
They
it.
won't tell you.
Although our house,
No,
probably
hold
will.
on, because
They'll be
they're
like, "Don't
sweet,
talk about
beautiful
it."
angels. We don't need to know that.
whatever our house had we had the conversation and there's only
they're
one
kinda
odd
like-
man out and it's Ashley.
Hey, I'm team woman. I don't care. You guys are fucking gross. But she wrote, in other news, is it still cool to call people dude? I feel like the word will forever be part of me, Susie, and Stephanie in our vocabulary, but I'm curious on others' opinions. I've never stopped saying it, and I'll never stop saying it.
I say
Can't
it,
stop, won't stop.
I say it all the time.
It's like cargo pants. It's never going away.
I put it in all my texts. I do it. It's dude.
Dude! Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
dude.
this
Yeah.
stupid fucking video from Kanye.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even people.
Wait, hold on. Then you get to go again. Dude, look at this new
Look at
stupid
this
fucking
new
video.
stupid video.
Yeah, or even other people. I'm like, hey, dude. You know what I mean? What's going on? You know what I mean? Or, yeah.
That amazing
Hey, thanks,
TV
dude.
show.
It was good to
What
see
am
you
I?
again,
What am I
dude.
supposed to say? Hey, Sean. Ugh. What am I? 60?
fucking
Like,
gross.
see,
I feel like that's one of those things. It doesn't matter if it's cool or not. Like it's just
still
gonna
doing
happen
it
for
Which,
a generation.
But I think that means it's cool. It
I'm
stands the
calling it
test of
cool.
time.
I feel like the only you say like, hey Pete, hey Mike, is so that you let them know that you know their name.
Oh, that's a good point. Because sometimes you're like, hey, you. And you're like, you don't remember my name, do you?
Hey, man.
How many times have you been somewhere and you see some? I know that person. You're like, what's up,
Bro.
dude?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
the worst part for me is like when I was doing all the beer deliveries and people would come over and then I'd meet them randomly like 2 years later. I was like, totally recognize you. Have no idea what your name
Yeah.
is. It's your man, dude.
That's
guy,
another thing from
buddy.
COVID was the beer deliveries. Like that was a whole thing, but
So-
it worked.
All right. Before you get to the end of this, I have to talk about. So this weekend at a baseball tournament we were at, you know when you're around a salesperson, right? Because we've all been there. Like a lot of us have done sales.
Some of us are saying.
Yeah. Well, to where you run into somebody you don't know, but you can play it off. You can keep it very generic. You can do whatever. So this weekend I ran into somebody and I swear to God, he knew me. Like I know him and kind of gave him the heads, a little nod, sat down, talked very general. He kept the conversation going. And then I walked away. He knows my wife and actually works with my wife and went on. And she came up. He went up to her later and goes, "Oh my God, apologize to Sean. I had no idea. I didn't recognize it was him." I was like, "Are you fucking serious? I thought he knew
The whole
exactly who
time.
I was." But I'm like,
Did you know who he was?
I knew who he was. Absolutely. But the way he played off,
That would
me,
have been a
I
magical
didn't-
story. It's like, I didn't know who the fuck he was either.
but I was like, he played it off so good. I'm like, good for him. Like
Yeah.
fucking amazing. Like good for you. Like,
Hold on,
like,
I gotta say something
I
quick.
represent, like, I love the sales guy though too. That's like, can hold his own and not do the,
Sir, if you're listening, how dare you?
yeah, come on, Brandon. I will
It's
call
Sean,
it
for
Brandon.
God's
Come on,
sake.
Brandon. You know what's up. But I will say this also because his mother-in-law, Dixie, who's like my favorite person in the world, listens to our podcast.
Yeah.
I see her this weekend. I used to work with her. Like probably definitely one of my top 10 favorite people in the whole wide world. Haven't seen her in years because we used to work together. Won't, someone I will never forget and I love to death. And Dixie, I love you so much. It was so great to see you. Comes up, gives you the biggest hug, which is then how gets
realized?
back to Brandon. He's like, I fucking had no idea. So
then he felt even worse,
Yeah,
'cause
so it was
he's-
one of
yeah.
those deals. But yeah, so Dixie, I love you. Thank you for listening. It's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Dixie.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So so it says, keep up the great work, fellas. It's so awesome to be able to count an hour of laughter each week in the middle of stress an adult has to bring. Love you all, Kelly. So then she did follow up once we found out that I didn't have her email. She's like, well, let me email you again and see if it went through or whatever. Since the podcast email decided my first one was junk and isn't getting read for a couple episodes, thought I would share. Requested an opinion from our lovely sister Bailey on peeing in the shower, which, by the way, happy birthday, Bailey. Today.
Right. Bailey's big day here
What a
for her.
good
Yeah.
segue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This one's for you, Bales.
Happy birthday, Bailey.
I know. Bailey's response. Yeah, peeing in the shower is normal. You don't do it. Again, gasp. Here I was just living my life showering with siblings. Pee for 18 years. Our parents are rolling, you weirdos. Blech. So meanwhile, you and Bailey are just pissing all over the place, and Kelly's just bathing in it and not knowing it.
Just guess.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So she said, I suppose I need another Is It Still Cool? So here it
Weird
is.
awakening. Like,
It's kind of funny.
Like after
something
that-
like that coming up. I'm like,
This whole time I've been living a
you've
lie.
been pissing in the shower my whole life?
I've been stomping in your piss my whole life.
So challenge to everybody listening. Ask your family.
Yeah, ask your siblings.
Would this have ever come up? I would have never known if one sister was team P and one sister was team not.
Now you know.
Had we not started the podcast. So I challenge you.
See, guys, this is why
Let's have a
this is why I
conversation.
ask the hard questions, because it brings families together. So She said, I suppose I need another. Is it still cool to hang out on your patio deck and drink, eat dinner, etc.? Basically just another hangout spot that's not in front of the TV. The majority of our childhood and nice weather was spent chatting with my parents on the patio, and now we do this with our kids. Wondering how many families still do it. Anywho, going to get back to my patio hanging, hoping the drink suggestion, try it out. Oh, she sent me a White Claw drink suggestion that we'll try.
All right.
Curious to hear the reaction. Claw's the law. Love you all, Kelly. I think hanging out anywhere at home as a family is cool, but I see what she's saying.
Well, you were at our house. You were at my parents' house.
Yeah,
like
the
we
patio
were
was
always
where
on the
it's at.
patio. They had a simple house. It was, they took care of it. It was really nice, but it was just, it wasn't anything fancy. And it was just a patio that they had out there. But the amount of fun that was had out there,
The amount of stories those bricks could tell of just
would
hanging
be
out there.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
We used to go over there all the time, and they would always have beer for, so it's like, we used to go there when we were broke.
Yeah.
They'll always show up like, Mom and Dad will have some beer for us. So, we do that, which then for a while there, we're all broke. And so then we're all hanging out there, and Dad's just like, yep, as long as they're coming over. But we would do that all the time, and we do it now.
Yep.
Like we did our deck and everything there for it, and the kids come out and we just talk for hours for,
Yep.
whatever there for it. So, Clint, what's your opinion on the old,
Yeah, I grew
or
up
deck drinking or patio drinking? What you got?
My parents are like amazing social. I don't know how you want to say it. Facilitators.
Yeah.
Good
we
party
always
hosts,
have people.
good
Yeah,
hosty
we always
people,
have people
like,
at
yeah.
the house.
Yeah.
My mom is, she loves entertaining people, and that goes, to her mom, and before that, like it's always just been her thing. Like she wants to have people at her house. And so it was always like, growing up, we have a huge deck that takes up the whole back of the house, and that was
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
in the summer's party spot. And then, because it's hot, they built on the front of the house a different party spot with like a fire pit and stuff. So socializing and all that was always super important growing up,
Yeah.
which I think is part of the reason that I ended up in the direction I am.
I was just going to
Yeah.
say,
because it wasn't always at home. It was, wherever my parents were out socializing with their friends, that's where we were, and that's where all their kids were. So
but then they brought it in and they were like, hey, if everyone's going to hang out, then
yeah. And I was, fortunate growing up. We were always cool with our neighbors. And so it was always, go in and out of everyone's houses kind of shit. And
yeah.
someone always had people over.
It was
Yeah.
like a community, like
Yeah.
you had your own little thing, which it's funny because we're the same way. And thank God
I was
Ashley's.
gonna bring you guys up
Thank God
about that.
Ashley's the same way because I love to, I love hosting. Ashley's that way too. But when you get to a house where they don't like to host.
Oh, yeah.
Or some people get very anxious about it. You know what I mean? They feel like, can I get you this? Can I get you that? You're like,
Everything
"Nope."
has to be perfect.
Like, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, and then they'll look at, like, I look at them, I'm like, calm down. Like, what is wrong with you?
You invited me in. You've done, that's all I needed.
But then other people look at me like, how do you do it? I'm like,
Show
what
me
do you
where
mean?
the fridge is and where's the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you
make
for
sure
that-
there's
for having me.
food, booze, and music,
see your-
and
yeah.
then have fun. And I'll show you the rest of the way and do what you want. Like I
was gonna
I
say,
don't
how
get
do
into
you,
that.
how do you know that it's like somebody that's not good with it or great with it or whatever?
I can just see it
It's
in their
usually the
eyes. Like it's,
anxiety.
or you just
Yeah.
see it when they're very anxious, like asking you over and over, do you want something? Not like I'll offer you anything when you come in. I'll show you where everything's at. And then at that point, I'm like, have some fun. You know what I mean? Not as opposed, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because I got juice and I know you really like juice. And
Yeah.
it's fuck, I'll have a juice. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
the first time you go to anyone's
like,
house.
like,
Yeah.
or you go to that stuff. Like
The first time you go to anyone's house and it's just like, you've known them for a while. They're just like, oh, have a seat. Can I get you anything? Like you could tell if they're calm or not. And, but that makes me think of your parents though, because they were just always so inviting. And like whether it was the first time I came there or the 50th, it was like, do you want a beer? Do you need something to eat? Like everyone's in the same spots. You're just talking. You could jump in, pick any of the 50 times, and it was the same every time. And I wish
always-
my kids had that because like we moved into a neighborhood where we didn't realize at the time, but everyone was very old. And I was hoping it would like be younger with kids, and it wasn't that. But I saw those neighborhoods, and I was always so jealous of it. So.
I think it's different though. Like my dad was really good at it, but actually my parents were really good at it. But then to be like, they would have, enough to drink for everybody, whatever. And then all of a sudden it'd go on. And the next thing you know, you'd see like fucking pizza getting delivered. Cause
Yeah.
dad just be like that.
Yeah.
They've
bet
been
you're all
drinking here for a
hungry.
while. They haven't eaten it. All of a sudden it just, you know what I mean? Like none of this, like, what do you want? What do you like? You just like make the call and be like, just get,
Yeah.
they'll eat pepperoni and cheese and sauce. Just get,
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
It doesn't have to be fancy. Just get them some food. You know what I mean? Or like what,
My
and all of a
parents
sudden
are to
show
the
up.
point where like if anyone that I know is going to Reno, and I'll tell them like, call my parents.
I was going to ask you, so they're still there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, my friend Kyle, he was my buddy. He worked for a bunch of breweries and stuff. Good dude. He's like, I'm going out. He was working for Montucky Cold Snacks. And he's like, I'm going to be in Reno. And I'm like, call my parents.
That's awesome.
And he's like, I'm like, dude. He's like, I've never met him before.
I know that would,
you're like,
that would be
trust me,
weird.
that
For me
literally
too.
doesn't
like,
matter.
I get it.
See, it wouldn't
And
be
so they
weird for
met
me.
and they went out and they had a great dinner. And then I'm getting phone calls and stuff from my parents. They're like, oh, we can't wait till Kyle comes back.
Okay, so I'm just going to throw
Jeff
this out here.
Julik and, they went
Podcast.
on a bike ride and like
Road trip?
and Donna.
Oh, nuh-uh.
And I think someone else was with them. But yeah, they just went out and hung out with my folks.
Shout out Teresa and Jeff, but I think we should just take this on the road and go to Reno.
Yeah, go to Reno.
Nice.
If you went to Reno and didn't call my parents, my mom would come in and she'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Listen to the podcast. That mic's a fuck.
that podcast is trash. All right. I got no time for it. So shout out to all the people that are good hosts because it's
It goes
You know,
a long
that they
way,
love
man. Like that's a lost art. And I mean, people need to, I don't know, again, people need to talk again and get,
The Midwest.
you don't have to be the
way-
most social ever, but you got to get out there.
The Midwest is great at it.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's cool if you don't like it to be like, I just don't like the host.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I get that. Like if
They
you're
don't
gonna
have
invite
people
someone,
over and then act weird about it.
yeah, that's
Right.
where I'm like, then don't feel like you have to do it because you're not gonna like no one. The vibe's not gonna be to have fun. Right?
I enjoy
Like, yeah.
hosting, but I'm always like, I want to like at least pick up my house because it's a fucking disaster.
Well,
So, like,
I mean,
what
you,
like,
you do have a standard.
I want it
that
to be
needs there.
presentable.
Like, yeah.
Like,
I mean, our house looks way better before he comes in before.
I just started laughing because he was like, if you don't want to do it, like, don't do it. And I was like, yeah, like, it's like those people who are like, I don't want kids. I'm like, please don't have kids then.
Right? Yeah. Right.
Like, do us all.
But,
a favor,
like,
it's
just don't.
important.
Yeah.
I am okay. Like when like Jeff came over yesterday, kind of sort of impromptu, and I'm like,
damn it, Jeff.
Fucking no cleaning was done.
Yeah.
you get what you get. Like,
But also when you're close
We're
enough friends
having
with
some
someone,
beers
they're
and-
like,
That's not really entertaining. That's
Right.
Your
Yeah.
buddy's coming over.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
you're like, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do I have cold bush lights for you? Yes.
Always. Yeah. I mean, like,
It's
yeah.
a Bushlight has saved more than one get together. Okay,
God.
like we can
Especially in the Midwest.
just like just a keep it the old anchor beer in there. Just the
I'll just say it's hard for me to trust someone if they're like just disgusted by Busch Light. I'm like, I don't get it. I mean, I've tried a lot of light beers. I think I've tried all of them. I grew up like my mom just drank Miller Lite growing up. I
That
don't
is
know,
the
man.
worst domestic light beer. by the
I
way.
don't
it's
like
my
it.
favorite. It is
I know
in
it
my
is.
bloodstream. I love it.
But you grew up with it and I like it. But I know everyone just has certain tastes. And I'm like, I also like, I'm older now, not as old as you guys, but older. And I have to watch the carbs and calories. And so Busch Light is like barely worse than an Ultra.
Yeah,
So,
they're very
and it has
similar.
way more taste. So
Yeah.
to me,
I think, I mean, I can appreciate it if somebody has a different, light beer that they
Oh, yeah,
like.
yeah.
You're pounding beers. So if you offer me a Coors Light, Bud Light, whatever.
Yeah, I'll drink
totally
it.
fine.
you know what's really good though? Busch Light Apple.
I'll still drink your Miller Light, but I don't like
Blapple.
it.
The black.
You'll drink my Miller
I'll
Lite.
drink
Like,
it. I'll drink it, but I'm not.
if
gonna
I
be
could get a
happy about
cut off of it, it'd be my Miller Lite. I'd love it. I would.
I want them to rebrand as Sean's Miller Lite.
I mean, we
I'll
used to.
drink
We
it,
used,
but I'll stare at you angrily.
we used to joke that when we'd watch NASCAR with the old Rusty Wallace is like, we're like, we fucking definitely own the hood. That we definitely own. That's gotta be ours.
I remember when I was
over that.
like when we were really big into craft beer when it first started, and he wasn't like you and Ben. your
yeah,
cousin
we used to
weren't.
fucking make shit of you so much.
So Ben would like text me from Kelly's phone or something, and it was like just a Miller Lite can every time, and it's like I'm having a fine Pilsner. The nose is light, the finish is fine. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Because you just post up, he's like, come on, let's get out there. He's like, yeah.
Damn you, Ben.
It was
We
fucking funny.
we did go all in back then.
We did. That's the only way to get into something is go hard into it, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, God, what?
I
how are
got
we
one.
doing?
I got one last thought. Unless
Yeah.
anybody, I don't know
Yeah.
where we're at here for it.
We're
but
good. We're
Okay, as long as we're good.
dude, what the fuck with the Diddy stuff? Can we talk about the Diddy trial?
I might need another beer
Are you
for
paying
this.
attention to the
God.
Diddy stuff? There's all this Kanye shit going on.
I was going to say, like, are you talking about a whole
Which
nother
one are we
episode
talking
worth of
about?
shit?
Like, I'm just saying, like the fucking Prince. Did you hear that?
Hold on, time out. Eric, can you give me a beer and some baby oil while you're in there? Like, and I'm talking a Costco pallet of it. Dude, I don't.
That's how it all happened, right? It all started with that. Oh, I don't know.
I haven't paid attention to any of it.
didn't necessarily want to, but TikTok thought I wanted to, and now I heard like
Because people do recaps, so
Prince-
it's like you're hearing, weeks
there's-
worth of shit.
there's no cameras allowed in there, which is unheard of for now. Any major trial for a celebrity
That's the
has
thing. How do they decide what court or what case gets a camera and others don't? Because
Basically,
like, I mean,
judge.
I think it's a judge that
decides, yeah.
it's
decides
very
it, yeah.
weird. It feels like it's something higher up than that. Because I mean, like the OJ thing, there was cameras everywhere. And what was another one recently?
Well, I feel like the OJ one is the reason why then they had to decide
There's
like,
no cameras.
that there's no
that's
cameras.
true.
Yeah.
That's They were like, we're
Once
done.
OJ held his hand up with that glove,
They were like,
Yeah.
done.
you're like, he's not even trying to put it on his hand.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a good point, actually.
I don't know. So there's this whole reading.
Because I would
like,
love to watch this.
Because the
thing
world
from
is not
Prince,
anymore
yeah.
Kardashians.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no more cameras in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this whole comment from Prince recorded all the stuff that he
Wait,
saw
Prince?
have Prince.
Like Prince
Like from
instead?
the
symbol known as
grave,
Prince?
from the grave, like shared all these. They shared out.
I didn't hear that.
What?
It just happened.
Are you going down a conspiracy theory hole?
I fucking might be. It's TikTok that I got from my information
Did you
from.
fact check
you know
this?
what I mean? TikTok or quote unquote, New York Times.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the internet never lied.
yeah, it never lied to me once. But if it did, I am like all in because they're like supposedly it was dropping some damning evidence against it, and
The craziest thing, not the craziest, but I feel so bad for this guy. So the girl involved in it, with Cassie or whatever, I don't even know who she is, but his ex that all
no
this
idea.
happened to. She's remarried. The guy's sitting in the courtroom listening to all this. And it's like, were you FaceTiming your now husband while you were doing a freak off? And she's like, yeah. It's like, dude, imagine being that guy. You're like, oh God. I'd be like, I'm out
Dude,
of
he
here.
knew.
This is-
right.
He
You think?
fucking knew.
I mean, probably, yeah. He didn't know at the time.
You know how much money I'm
FaceTimed.
making for this? Yeah,
I mean,
do it, baby.
that's
do
true.
It.
Think of the book
I don't know.
sales when
Maybe
they're
not.
done.
Maybe not.
God, it's just.
I haven't been listening to what's going on. I know there's some crazy shit.
I just don't like keep being asked to
It
freak
just
off.
seems
so
like
that's a
kind
no
of the
for me
thing that
now.
they were like, yeah, I'm making a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
probably just keep doing that then.
God.
Money talks, baby.
Yeah, I mean, really think about it. Like, would you just let him do Feet Finder if you could get the bills paid?
Feet finder.
Well, now I know your answer, you freak.
No, I'm saying, yeah, freak off is a little different, but I'm just saying, like, think about the degrees of that. You're probably going.
It's Diddy money.
That's true.
I mean, that's
That's true.
This isn't like you got 100 grand. He's got $1 billion. No.
Which, by the way, he killed Biggie.
Jesus.
He killed.
All right,
Biggie.
we're at a good ending
you know,
point here.
honestly, I was hoping that would come out of this.
I thought it a long time ago. Now I think about it, like, you ever see the picture of, how Biggie had a lazy eye, and like it's him recording, but his eye's staring over here where Diddy is, and it's like he always knew to keep one eye on Diddy. No, so I will say, since we're talking about freak offs, Eric, you and Aaron came over this weekend on Saturday.
Wait,
No, trust me. No,
please clip that out.
Yeah,
Please
this is
clip.
going to be great.
no, but I want you guys to. So I'm gonna set the scene. We had some people over. We were hanging out at home at my place, and then you guys came over. What was it like when you walked in?
Oh, yeah, there's a freak off going on when we walked in.
The fuck?
What happened? Like what
They didn't
what did
even
you
give
see?
us baby oil.
Yeah. So
How
we're
rude.
literally watching the Cubs game, like me and I don't know, 6 or 7 of us, and I remembered. I say that like I forgot, but I really did forget because I don't watch my porn on that, but you know what I mean. But there's like the program I use. There's porn channels, and you always forget they're there because you don't go to them.
Oh,
because it's like
channel.
Playboy, and like there's
Yeah.
like 40 of them, right? So
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was there.
Oh, I didn't know you were coming.
Why is it in my favorites? Oh,
Yeah. So, but
damn kids.
Someone's like, Eric and Aaron are walking up. I go, oh, fuck. So I quickly go to a porn show. I go, when they walk in, no one look at them. Just look directly at the TV and don't make a face. So they walk into us just watching like hardcore porn, and we're just fixated at the TV. And I think Eric just goes like, and Aaron's like, hello. And I'm like, hey, honey. Like, so
that's pretty good.
I felt like the freak off was a good segue
Yeah,
for
that's
that.
good.
So yeah, there was no
probably-
baby oil.
oh god.
Funny about the Fire Stick program you're talking about. I was showing that to my mom to like. I was
The
like, hey,
hardcore
you need
porn?
no.
It's
So
not too late to stop what you're saying.
I was showing my mom like, hey, you should get this because you can save money on like getting cable and all this shit, right? Of course, the one I was showing her didn't have those turned off. So the first fucking channel number 1 is fucking hardcore porn. I'm like, oh, well, that's great. Well, it might be a selling point for you, but it wasn't what I was going for.
That's funny. That's good.
Yeah.
So I turned off all the adult channels on all those.
Yeah, because now they don't even put a pin on it. Like
No.
on the program I use, like you used to have to like set a pin, and no, it's so thank God. Like my kids don't even know how to use that program because it's only for live TV. I use it for sports and stuff. I know.
I don't even know how to use TV.
I don't know either.
I have no
Yeah.
idea how to use that.
I don't know where that came from, kids. Yeah. So no.
I learned it by watching you.
Yeah. God, talk about an old school commercial. Like that's
There
something
you
our
go.
kids never know. This is your brain on drugs.
You all right? I learned
Yeah.
it from watching you.
And you remember how like ridiculous, like how sad the dad looked, but not sad, more like embarrassed. It was like
Well, he was
oh,
stoned.
That's true.
He's like, oh,
On ditchweed.
100%.
That's something too. Like people have talked
Bring
about.
back sessionable weed, by the way.
Eric, do you got a joke?
Doesn't
for
all
us?
have
Are
to
we
be
at
like
that time
craft
yet or no?
weed.
Pretty close. Mike, you had one lined up, didn't
Did you have a joke?
Well, it's not going to be the dad joke. I mean, do you want me to just do mine?
Yeah, go for it.
I like it a lot.
Okay, do it.
Is there anything you want to plug or anything before we wrap it up? Just that. And I hate that I
If
didn't
that's
say it
a
until we started.
sex segue, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well, you know,
It's kind of time to leave.
Eric, bring out the baby pool of oil.
Speaking of freak,
We're gonna have to pause.
Yeah. All right. So I heard this joke this weekend, made me laugh. So I'm just going to throw it out there. So, why did the Mexican take anti-anxiety meds for his panic attacks? For Hispanic attacks. It
Yeah,
took you guys way too long.
delivery is important there. You had to
I did it right the first time. You guys are just slow. Sorry, Hispanic attacks. Did I
was just making
say
sure
it
it
too
wasn't
slow
a-
or?
That'd have been a little
Culturally
better because I thought you
inappropriate
just
joke.
said for his panic attack. So I was like, okay.
that is what he said. That's why
He's
it's funny.
Hispanic. It's not offensive at all.
Jeez.
He's
I
Hispanic.
withheld laughter to make sure that it wasn't culturally inappropriate.
He's like,
I am
I'm not
going
getting
to-
canceled on the first episode. This is bullshit.
And just like that, Eric's back in charge of the joke.
Mine are not usually good at being dad jokes.
We get that sound. Wah, wah,
Yeah,
wah.
no, you can't do it now. It's
Try
too late.
again.
Yeah, I gotta fix all the soundboard stuff so we can do all that. But
Yeah.
all right. So dad joke of the day.
Okay.
Did you guys hear about the circus fire?
I did.
Yeah, it was intense.
It was intense.
Nice.
Told you I know
You
these.
did. And finally,
I
you
gave
got.
I gave you the
Finally,
right
you
amount of
got it.
time and you got it.
And I've never heard it before, but I literally was like, "What's a
Nice.
circus?" I was like, "Rings, fire, like tents," and I was like, "Intense."
So anybody new to listen to this because we'll have some new people with Clint joining. Mike always feels like every time Eric says the joke, he's like, "I knew it," and I'm like, "Then just fucking
Yeah,
say it,"
just say
because you always act like
Oh,
you know
I
it.
knew what that was.
And
No,
then
you
that
didn't.
time he actually
but
did.
you don't
So
like to say
yeah.
it because it takes away from the punchline. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I don't
No,
do
I
it.
get it.
I'm doing it for you.
Hey, I
I
just
heard
gave
that
you a
joke
compliment.
as-
I still think you're full of shit.
And
but
I know
just
I've said
gave
this
you-
before, but it's really true. Everything I do it for you.
I've heard
Again.
that joke before, but it wasn't like clean. It was like, did you hear about the
Oh wait.
orgy at the campground? It's fucking intense.
Oh, see, the other one I heard was
Oh, I
like
like that one better actually.
that one's better. I heard some guy goes, "I'm a teepee." No, it's a wigwam. No, it's a teepee. No, it's a wigwam. And the guy goes, "Relax, man. It's 2 tents." Fucking stupid. Why is there this many tent jokes, by the way?
Wow. Because like when you're camping, you're just bored as fuck.
Oh,
Like,
I
you're
have to
finding
say,
shit
I have
do.
to say one other one because I said it like 3 times this weekend. Kara knows this. It's my favorite joke of all time. It's so fucking stupid, and maybe you've heard it, but so there's 2 nuns. They're biking down a cobblestone road, and one says to the other one, she's like, "Have you ever come this way before?" And the other one's like, "Yeah, it's
That's
the
why.
cobblestones." Jesus,
I love it when I can see
why I
those
take
coming
this
through.
I know. I went to Catholic school, so it's one of my favorites. you know?
Oh, there you go.
Hey, shout out to the new Pope, my Lord and Savior.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That is.
Sure, we'll have
man.
a
I
drink
love
dedicated
that
to
he's
it.
from
Probably gonna be a topic.
Chicago. I hate that he's a White Sox fan, but you know,
Probably going to have to be a topic,
Yep.
yeah.
but
It was on the list. We'll get to it.
back
right.
to it.
We'll have a Chicago handshake soon.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, hey,
So-
shout out to Clint. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you
Thanks
so
so much,
much.
brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Shout
Yeah,
out
dude.
to Single Speed and Backpack. That was tasty.
Yeah.
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 So
I'm
anyway-
kind of, I don't know if I'm happy or sad that I drank something with Fernet and drank the whole thing and actually would probably have another one.
Right.
Yeah.
The Very Good Shanty though is a really good way to mix a couple beers there. And if you are a glutton for punishment, little Fernet. And
Fernet and Coke is
Not bad.
huge in Argentina.
I thought
by
it was
the
good.
end, by the time we got to the end of it, I kind of liked it. So maybe he's coming around here,
Yeah.
folks.
I think
maybe
like
he's coming around.
76% of Fernet in the world is sold in Argentina.
No shit.
Really
Pretty sure I read that.
interesting.
Someone can check and be like, "Oh, you're full of shit," but I'm pretty
check that.
sure that's. I
Don't
think that's
say
a thing.
you don't tune in to learn anything, because there you go. So, Clint, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks
He's
for
been
having me.
an
Appreciate it.
awesome,
Yeah.
great guest, and appreciate all the drinks and everything that you brought us.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It was a lot of good stuff. So,
We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.
yep. See you guys. Bye.
Cheers.
Peace.